I'm Brian from EOS Amsterdam. In the current constitution of EOS, Article 4 says no vote buying. However, there's no explicit definition of what is vote buying. I was at a hackathon in San Francisco last week, and I got the chance to interview some of the community members. And here are their opinions on what is vote buying.
Now I have Rob from Cypherglass. And Rob, what's your definition of vote buying?
My definition of vote buying is giving somebody any kind of monetary value in exchange for their vote on the EOS main.
Very interesting question. I would say that vote buying is any coercive incentive that makes you want to vote for someone without independently doing it on your own. And that's my definition of vote buying.
Definition of vote buying, I'm going to go with thinking of like a U.S. conspiracy law where there's some sort of action taken in furtherance of some sort of nefarious activity. So let's say in vote buying, I would think that nefarious activity would be, for me, a vote that is going only to like facilitate basically some sort of gain for yourself. Like, I want something, so I'll vote for you. I want new shoes. I want a hat. I want HappyMoneyMan's hat. I'll vote for you. I want you to vote for me. I'll vote for you. So the kind of the intention behind it, and if it's conspiratorial, the vote is only for gain. That is my personal definition. That's where I draw lines, because there's a lot of gray areas, I'd say, but like there's also for me a real clear line that I wouldn't engage in at EOS San Francisco block producer. So that's what time it is, ladies and gentlemen, and check out the EOS podcast. Love you, Mike.
That's everything you do in exchange for a vote. Can be vote, can be even something as simple as a lunch. I don't think you have to lower it to a lunch. I think normal business practices is to go to lunch with each other. Somebody picks up the tab, somebody else picks up the tab. That's how it usually works. But as a block producer, you need to be integer. You have to be careful not to promise something in exchange for votes.
Good question. So, in my opinion, vote buying is when there is an exchange of value and an explicit expectation or return of votes. This would be an exchange of money. It could be crypto tokens. It could be in the form of a passive dividend. It could be in the form of dinner. If there's an explicit expectation that votes will be returned in exchange for something of value, then I believe that is vote buying.
Well, I think that's complex because the Constitution prohibits vote buying, but the Constitution hasn't been ratified, so we don't know what it is. I mean, early on in EOS Dublin, when we started making T-shirts, for instance, we had an internal discussion like, well, we don't want to be seen to be giving away T-shirts for votes. We don't want to be, buying votes with our T-shirts. But of course, so that was something we talked about pretty intensely before we started making T-shirts. But the answer is we need specifics of that definition. Like, just because there's a line in the Constitution doesn't mean that there's any clarity on it.
Vote buying can be very subjective. So I think the very direct definition is when a block producer is paying any voter or any reward for voting for them. Now, there are many direct ways. EOS is a very complex ecosystem. You have proxies. You have a lot of airdrops, which dApps are giving. There are a lot of apps which are run by block producers, which are sponsored by block producers. So, and the token as a stake, it can be like people are transferring tokens for staking it. So it's like you need to understand it's a very subjective thing. Direct vote buying, while it is giving reward for voting, I would say there are a lot of indirect vote buyings which can happen, which is by giving token rewards. Then I think some people have tried to justify it, which is more about like Parcel gave airdrop, which is like for voting for anyone. It's a dApp which is giving rewards. It's not a BP. It's not vote buying, but you're basically rewarding voters. Now, it's a gray area, rewarding voters for voting versus paying, who is paying that? How do you justify like who's really paying for the vote? That makes all the difference. And while this is so difficult to prove on chain that who really was behind a certain reward, I would say that vote buying is not a criteria we should look at. What we should look at is make it open market, let everybody try to buy vote, and then it becomes fair, because now everybody's in the same boat. And it's no different from asking for vote directly. You can reward. If everybody's allowed to reward, then you take the whole gray area out of the picture. That is one view. I'm not suggesting that, I'm not supporting that, but I'm saying that we need to think about it, and let's not just look at vote buying as one simple thing.
So now you have heard some of the community members' opinion on what is vote buying. I would like to know what is your opinion on vote buying. Please leave a comment below.